Hey guys, this is Sue Hanson here with you. I'm going to share something with you today that's going to help you give a little bit more credibility to your business. If you've ever wanted to know how to, and I'm going to turn off that camera in a second because it's on the wrong one, but if you've ever wanted to know how to have your email address match your domain, so you have, let's say, your name.com, for me, SueHanson.com, and you're wondering how do you get your email to be sue@suehanson.com or support@suehanson.com or admin@suehanson.com, thinking that it was too technical for you, not knowing how to set it up. Well, I'm going to share with you how to do it. It's very easy once you know how to do it. This video is going to show you how to do it if you actually have your own blog somewhere, you actually have it hosted somewhere. And there are ways to do it if you just have forwarding from GoDaddy or something like that, but this video is going to be showing you through your cPanel, so you actually have to have a cPanel. And then I'll do another video someday showing you maybe how to do it through GoDaddy, which is probably a good chance that that's where you have your domain. Although I found another good one I'm going to be sharing with you in the next few weeks too. So let me just first of all tell you that if you have your own domain, you're going to have a cPanel. And the cPanel is where you control everything about your website. The file transfers, if you don't load them directly through your WordPress blog, if you're using WordPress, it's where you do a lot of the back-end stuff for your domain. And it's also where you can set up mail and set up mail forwarding, which is what we're going to do. First, we're going to set up the mail. I'm going to show you how to forward it so you don't have to go check that mailbox all the time. It'll forward to whatever email you check most often. And then I'm going to show you how you can actually go in and respond from there. Because if you respond from the email address where it was forwarded, then it'll have that email when the subscriber or the person that contacted you gets it back from you. So if you want to, if it's someone you don't want to give your personal email address to, you can actually go into the actual email, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute, and respond from there. And then it'll look really professional because it'll come back with the address sue@suehanson.blog rather than my forwarding address, which is my Gmail address. So you'll see what I mean as we go through here. So let's get started. First of all, like I said, you have to go to your cPanel, and how you get to that cPanel, if you're not sure, is to put in your domain that you want to set up the email for, whatever that domain is. In this particular case, I'm going to demonstrate with optinrecipe.com. So if you put in your domain and then put a colon and then put in 2082, you should come up to this. Now, if you don't, try a different browser. I know it doesn't work very well in Internet Explorer. I'm in Chrome. Try it in Chrome. You shouldn't have any problem. Not sure on Safari. Firefox, I don't know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I'm almost always in Chrome and I know it works in this. So go into Chrome, type it in, then the hard part, you have to know what your username and password is. Hopefully you know that and you can type it in. If you don't, go back and look for the email that you got when you very first set up that domain. You should have those passwords there. If you can't, contact your hosting provider and ask them how to reset the passwords. Okay, so once you get them, you log in. I'm actually logged in already on another page, so let me pull that up. When you log in, it's going to look like this. Now it doesn't really matter where your hosting is because cPanels pretty much look the same. One thing I have noticed that's a little different, but it won't matter here, is sometimes to upload WordPress you'll see Fantastical Deluxe, and some places have another way of uploading WordPress, but for our purposes, what we're looking at, it should be the same regardless of who your hosting company is. So once you're in here, what I want you to do is go right here to email accounts and click on it. Of course, when I'm recording, it's a little slow, so I'll give it a second to upload. There we go. And you'll come to this page right here. Now, if you happen to have more than one domain or subdomain, you just click your drop down and it'll come up. This is the one I want right now. And then right here, all you need to put in is whatever you want the address to be. So if you want it to be your name at thedomainaddress.com, you put in your name. If you want it to be support, you put in support. You don't have to just have one either. You can have more than one. I'm just going to do for demonstration purposes my name at optinrecipe.com. You should get a green check mark. Think of a password. Remember it. We're going to need it later. Okay, you can click unlimited here if you want. If you get a lot of emails, you might want to do that. Click on create account. Okay, so our email is already set up. That's all it took. Now what we want to do is, and if you need to ever change passwords or anything, see, here it is. We just set this one up right here. Now, yours may look a little bit different. If it doesn't look like this, if you don't scroll down and see this, all you have to do is go back to the home page up here and get to it. But if it looks like this, you can just click on more. Access web mail. Sorry about the delay. It's just because of the recording. Goodness, it's really slow. There we go. I hope my video is showing up okay. This laptop camera has been messed up and it doesn't want to take my extra webcam. For some reason, it keeps defaulting back to the original. And so it might be a bunch of blur, and I apologize if it is. So one of the things while we're waiting here, people are always struggling with is, what do you blog about? What do you write about? What kind of content do you put out there? Well, if you just follow a 3-step formula, you probably will have less trouble with that, and that is learn, do, teach. So right now you're learning how to do this from me. Then I want you to do it. I want you to actually set something up for your own business, and then I want you to go out and make a video for it, because you're going to teach it in a completely different way than I do. Someone's going to be attracted to you, and then you've created a piece of content. And that's what you can always do, is you can learn, do, teach. Learn, do, teach. All right, so we went to the webmail, and excuse me, they're asking for a password. The password is the one we just set up, okay? So let me type that in. I suppose we'll have to wait another second here for the lag is trying. Okay, there we go. Now, you probably are, I don't know if you'll have 3 choices in yours, but you might. Whatever you have, click on it. And it'll bring you up to the actual email, but we haven't sent anything yet. So before we do that, I'm going to go down here, because what we want to do, like I said, we want to forward. So we click on forwarding options, and you can get to this another way as well. And oh, I kind of did this before and my video didn't work, so I forgot to go back and erase it. But let me erase it so I can show you. Okay, so this is what it'll look like, or similar, depending on what your cPanel has. And then all you'll do is click Add Forwarder. You put in here where you want it to go. So I'm going to put in the email address where I want it to go. add forwarder. Notice that green check that came up. You should get this note right here. Email sent to this will be copied. It's not forwarded without being copied. It's actually just a copy that you're getting. The actual email is going to be back in that webmail, and I'll tell you why you might want to go there in just a second. So it's going to go here. We'll check to make sure that worked in just a second here, but let me just go back and show you something real quick. Alright, so we set up the forwarder, and that's okay. So now we're going to actually let's go forward something first and check it. Then I'll be able to show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So what I'm going to do now is do a test. You always want to test to make sure your forwarding worked, that your address, you aren't going to start advertising your new email address and it's not working. You don't want to miss any prospects or leads or important questions. So let me see. I think, yeah, here we go. Let me just pause you for a second. I'm going to go send an email and then we'll go check to make sure it got there. Oops. So what I did was I went over to one of my email accounts and I sent a test email to Sue@optinrecipe.com. And it was supposed to forward, remember, we set up the forwarding to buildingonlinesuccesstogether@gmail.com. So now I'm over in the forwarding address, and here it is. It just popped up. You can see right here. It worked great. Now you give it a try and leave me a comment to let me know it worked for you. Thank you. Now, what I wanted to show you is one last quick tip. If you get this in your forwarded email and you reply from here, it's going to show this email address. It's going to be coming from this email address. So be careful if you don't want people to have this email address. Don't reply from here. Go back over to your web panel, to your cPanel, and let me find the one I'm logged into. Here we go. Go back over here and check in here. And I don't know if you'll have those three choices. You might only have one choice. Remember, we only got a copy into Building Online Success Together. The original should be here in the webmail, and when you respond from the webmail, the responding address will be sue@suehanson.com. Here we go. So I've never signed into this one. We might have to sign into a different one. It doesn't even look like it got to this one yet. Let me see. We'll see. Oh, I entered my password incorrectly. Let's try. Okay guys, I just had signed in incorrectly, but here you see, here's the original right here. So if I respond from here, then like I said, they'll get it and it'll actually say that it's from sue@suehanson.com, whereas if I respond from the forwarded address, which was Building Online Success Together@gmail.com, that is the address they're going to see. So just be a little bit careful about that. Most of the time you don't really care because you already secured the question or the lead, but if you really want to look completely professional, go in here and get this. To be honest with you, not that many people really email you. Most people will contact you a different way, so it shouldn't be a big deal to come in here. You can certainly do that. And some of these emails depends on where you are. I'll show you one later with GoDaddy where there's some really cool, their email actually has some really cool features and templates to use. So that's it on this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment if you did. Let me know if it helped you out. Let me know if you got it done. I would love to hear from you. And I'll see you on the next video real soon.